Hello, Spartans. Welcome back to the third segment of the West broadcast, and the first segment of 2021. We're so glad to see you all. Up first, Caleb Sandoval interviews teachers about what their classroom means to them.
With the construction of the new building underway, many teachers are having to think about moving their classrooms into the new building. Many of the teachers who have spent years here have artwork and pictures up on their walls from previous students. Hi, Ms. Burke. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Caleb. Thank you for coming in.
So, how many years have you been working here at West?
About 120. Okay. This is my 29th year.
And so, have you always been in this specific room, or have you moved around?
No, I moved around. My first room was out where Miss Murrow is. Not in that room, but one of those rooms out there in the outhouse out there. And then my second room was 506. My third room was 402. So this is my fourth room.
And what would you say is your most favorite thing that you used to personalize your room?
My favorite thing is in 1999, the administrative gave us a task of thinking outside the box on how to get more kids in our upper level math classes. And so I decided that if kids made it through AP Calc, that they could paint a mural on the wall of anything that they wanted to. And it started in 402, and from 99, and I believe the last year was, I have no idea, 2010 maybe. And the whole room, including the doors, and were all taken up, and that was really fun. And then I got it booted out of that room, which I was absolutely destroyed because those murals meant a lot to me.
Right.
And then the principal, Nat Cranston, decided to paint over all of them, which the kids were more mad than I was that was going to happen. And so then I moved into this room. I was without a room for a couple years. I was a traveling teacher, and then came into this one, and I started up again. So didn't do it last year, which was sad, but hopefully we'll get it done this year.
So, and what are your feelings towards having to pack everything up, since I do have all these memories and all the murals, and having to move into the new building?
Well, I'm throwing a lot of stuff away and really downsizing, because rumor has it is that we're not going to get our own room in the new building, is that all the teachers will be in an office, right? And that's where all our stuff will be, so I won't have, room for all my textbooks and all my junk that I've saved over the course of my 29 years here. And then rumor has it we can't put anything on the walls. So I thought about having I don't know, this is the hard part, what to do with all my pictures and stuff that I have, and I hate putting them in a box, so I thought maybe having a bonfire at the end and just burning everything. So it sounds pretty drastic, but it's kind of like the end of and then I'll save the ashes and put it in a vase or something. I don't know.
The end of a good long era.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Ms. Stafford. Thank you for having us today.
Of course.
So, how many years have you been working here at West?
I have been teaching for 7 years, and then I actually student taught at Greeley West as well. So this is my 8th year at West.
Oh, wow. And so when you student taught here, were you in this room or were you in a different room?
I was actually just down the hall there. I was with Mr. Wagner, and so I got to student teach with him, and I was in his classroom.
And so what would you say is your most favorite thing that you've ever used to decorate your room?
I love decorating my classroom. is something I take a lot of pride in, but I think my favorite part of my classroom would be my Avid tiles. Those were my Avid seniors, and they created those, and it just makes me so proud every time I get to see their pictures and think about how wonderful they're doing after high school.
And if I'm correct, that was your first Avid class, correct?
Yes.
How do you feel with the transition, having to move all of your stuff, since you've made so many memories here and you have all these decorations on your wall, having to move all of that to the new building?
I'm going to see it as an opportunity for me to make my classroom better and for me to make my classroom more representative of all of my students. And so it's a little daunting because I have a lot of stuff, but I am looking forward to just it's like a blank canvas, and I get to show my personality and show my love for my students. Even though they didn't get to be at the new building, they're still going to be with me in my new classroom.
Right. And do you see it as a new opportunity to redecorate? Or are you using the same things, or a little bit of both?
Both. So there'll definitely be elements that I take over, but on the whole, I'm really looking forward to experimenting with different furniture and different decorations, and just how can I make my classroom more welcoming to the students that walk in.
Hi, Ms. Fisher. How many years have you been working here at West?
I've been teaching here for 28 years.
Wow. So have you always been in the same classroom, or have you moved around a bit?
I have moved around a few times. I started in the room that's now the tech lab. I was down the hall where the math rooms are. And then after that came here. So I was outside in a portable also.
Oh, wow.
So this is my 4th classroom.
So you definitely moved around quite a bit.
Moved around a bit, but been here for the last probably 10 to 12 years.
And what would you say is your favorite piece that you've put up or made with your students?
So I have a lot of different things up here. Probably my favorite thing in my room is all of my Thor posters. Thor and Chris Hemsworth posters. I have them strategically located around the room so I can see them everywhere.
Right.
One of the coolest things I've done with my students is I've got this chain up here at the front of the room from my communication studies kids, and they've written on strips of paper things that they can do to help others. And so then I've strung them up here around the room.
Oh, I like that a lot. And then, so is that just one class, or is it over the years?
It's all the classes that I've had communication studies, except for the 2 classes that I had when we were online, just as we finished the last quarter, because we weren't here for me to give them the strips of paper. Yep.
So how many years would you say is all of the leads?
I have only started teaching this class within the last 3 or 4 years.
Oh, so not too many, but it's definitely quite lengthy.
Yeah.
So what is it that makes this room so special to you?
I love this room and all of the things that I have around the room because I spend so much time here away from home. It's like home away from home. And so this room, this space just brings me joy. It's so colorful and it has just a lot of fun memories in it.
So what are your feelings or emotions towards having to switch from the old school into the new building?
Yeah, I'm very excited to move because obviously we need a new building. I mean, it will be a lot of work to have to move everything over there, but I think a lot of what I have in this current room, I'll be able to move to the new one too. So I'm not concerned about it all. I'm just really excited for what it means for Greeley West.
Right. And so would you say having moved to a few different rooms over your years here at West has definitely made you ready to be like, oh, I can pack up this all really quickly and easily and be able to move to the new building?
It definitely will have helped having moved classrooms before. It doesn't necessarily feel as overwhelming. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. As you saw, many of the teachers here at Greeley West will have a difficult time moving their memories into the new building as they start a new chapter of their career.
Thank you for that, Caleb. It is interesting getting to hear from teachers the significance of their own classrooms. And now a short commercial break with Koo.
What is something random about you that not a lot of people know about?
Oof. Lots of things.
Yeah?
That is a good question. Something random about me that many people do not know. I'm a really good drawer of cartoons.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I
do like to draw. I don't draw very much anymore. The other fun fact is, I just saw this online the other day too, is it's the most unique mascot in Colorado is my high school were the brush beet diggers. So the beet diggers. So Mr. Torres likes to say he used to go and watch the beat diggers play. So
Okay, I've never heard of the beat diggers.
brush beat diggers. There you go.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Koo. Quick reminder, as we enter the new quarter, make sure to practice safe COVID protocol. Always wear your mask, social distance, and remember to stay home if you experience any symptoms. In other news, winter sports have just begun with basketball, wrestling, and girls swimming. Although spectators are not allowed at these events, we will be with you in spirit. Also, you may have noticed that the lovely Greeley West hallways are lined by beautiful snowflakes, thanks to Mr. Plant's savvy computer skills. Thank you, Mr. Plant, for putting a COVID-friendly twist on this beloved West tradition.
Each day, the grounds of the new building change and evolve as the foundation is set for the future generation of Spartans at West. Gray mountains are beginning to emerge from the ground, marking the beginning of new buildings. As the auxiliary gym takes shape, one can almost see the future West teams practicing, or future freshmen gathering to be herded for their first tour of the building. The building is underway, specifically the Ag building, and the hallway connecting it to the art departments is taking shape. It's exciting getting to see the future unfold before our own eyes. So far, everything is on schedule and on budget. The foundation for the future auditorium is taking shape, and anticipation for new beginnings is beginning to bubble within the student body. The new construction sparks a new age of the Spartan, the age of one that is seasoned and wise from its long history, but also ready to evolve and grow as the Spartan pride continuously does. And most importantly, windows can be seen appearing on the current walls, which is thrilling now that the outside world can perhaps catch a glimpse of its Spartans and their pride. A new plague, arguably more contagious than COVID-19, has begun to ravage its way through public schools across the world. As the majority of students are able to partake in public learning from the safety of their homes, teachers are beginning to encounter many black screens as they join their classes on Zoom. We go now to Zach in the field, hearing directly from students on their experiences and what this looks like to teachers as well.
Hi, I'm Zach Headley reporting for the Westward. Today we're going to be talking about Zoom, the platform that has overtaken online education. More specifically, we're going to be talking about cameras from the student and the teacher perspective. First, I spoke to Mr. Torres, a math teacher here at Greeley West, who said that he maintains a 100% always-on camera policy, meaning that every student during every class needs to have their camera on and positioned from their shoulders up. He says that this helps for two reasons. First of all, when students think that they have to just have their camera on, they point it at the ceiling. And second of all, this helps keep the kids engaged and feel like they're still part of that classroom community that they don't get on online days. Next, I spoke to Ms. Dent and Ms. Gregg, who shared some similar thoughts. Okay, so just tell us about your camera policy, what you ask your students in terms of like having their cameras on or not, and why.
Okay, do you want to start out with your idea? Sure. So we have a cameras on policy, cameras and mics on when asked, just because we like to see all the kids' faces and it really brings them in to be present to the classroom, and it also allows them to feel more included, and their answers are better, their engagement is better.
I would echo everything that Ms. Gregg, who is teaching here in the cottage this semester. We also require that cameras are angled shoulders up, ideally, so that we're not looking at people's ceilings or foreheads, and it works really well. People are, for the most part, accommodating for that and understand the importance of it themselves.
Torres also mentioned in his interview that he likes to feel like he's walking around in a classroom, even if he isn't. And so having everybody's face there means that he feels like he's not talking to a blank slate. All three of these teachers understand that students might be uncomfortable or worried using their cameras, but they also said that they heard some very interesting excuses from students as to why they couldn't have their cameras on. Some from Mr. Torres included "my camera's broken" or "it's working on my end but not on yours." Those were the most common. And also to extremes of "I'm still in bed. I don't want to turn my camera on because I'm embarrassed." And Miss Dent and Miss Gregg had some similar experiences.
Let's see. There's a lot of like, my camera's broken, my Wi-Fi's bad,
My dog is being loud or, disruptive.
like it's on for me, it's just not on for you.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. And then a kid recently said the background where I am is not appropriate, which made me wonder, what is the background?
Now, after talking to the teachers, I had to get a student perspective. I wanted to know how the students felt about having their cameras on, their peers having their cameras on, and the requirement that teachers are placing on them to have their cameras on. Do you normally have your camera on in class?
Yeah, all the time.
Why?
Because it's nice to see like my fellow students because we don't get to see them in person very often.
So, how do you feel about people who don't like having their camera on?
Like I get it because like at first I didn't like having my camera on either, but like it does get kind of upsetting when you don't get to see anyone else around you. Because like I remember first and second quarter it'd be like me and one other person with our camera on.
Why do some students object to having their cameras on, do you think?
Because most of the time your assignments are already up on Schoology, so students would probably just want to go off and do that work and not really talk to anybody. So like by turning off your camera, that's the one thing that you can actually control in the classroom setting.
Do you keep your camera on for classes, and why?
For most of my classes, I do keep my camera on. It just depends. For my math class, sometimes it's harder for me to keep it on, just because sometimes the Wi-Fi might go in and out, and it causes like my camera to act funny. So that's why I just use my microphone most of the times when I need to.
Why do you think some kids don't like having their camera on?
I feel like some kids might not like having their camera on because they may feel intimidated or embarrassed. Maybe since it's so early in the morning, they might not have motivation to get ready as much as they would like it for in-person school, which they feel shy maybe.
Do you prefer being in person, or are you okay with the Zoom?
I prefer being in person. I feel like my learning is a lot better. I have less distractions, especially when I'm at home. I have a lot of noises going around my house, so I think it's better for me to be in person where I can ask questions to my teachers and get like help from my peers.
So among all of this, in the COVID world, it is difficult. Students don't want to have their cameras on for reasons of self-esteem or environment, and teachers want students to have their cameras on to feel as normal as possible. In this time where things are a little bit abnormal, Zoom is one of the best ways for us to connect as students and teachers and ultimately create the best possible education experience despite the drawbacks. Thank you for watching. I'm Zach Headley.
And now another short commercial break with Koo.
If you could have the world's attention for 10 seconds, what would you say? Thank you.
Oh, put me on the spot here.
How's it going?
Be nice, be kind, do great things.
Okay, that's a good advice. Thank you. Would you rather learn how to control time or know what people are thinking?
Ooh. I think maybe know what people are thinking, because then...
Why?
Because then you wouldn't have to, like, change things in the first place. And
true.
having power over time, you don't know what you're messing up there.
True.
Understanding what people are thinking, you can just go easy way through life.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, true. Thank you.
All right, yeah.
Thanks, Koo. Up next, infield reporter Jacob Evans investigates the academic repercussions of online school.
Students, teachers, and administrations across the world last April were hoping that this pandemic would only last a couple of months. However, today, we've had to learn to live in this newfound reality. As juniors became seniors in the class of 2021 and sophomores became juniors, students had to begin to think about college acceptance exams, prepping for the SATs, figuring out how to sell themselves to colleges, or just think about the future after high school if it wasn't college. So today we'll hear directly from a few students and teachers about how they feel, either prepping for AP exams in May as the deadlines approach, or for IB exams that are also approaching in May. We'll hear from teachers as well what it's been like trying to keep students on track, trying to give them as many materials as they can to help them feel prepared together during these unprecedented times.
First, we talked with Stephen Paulson as he discussed the greatest crutch for online learning this year.
Well, first, just getting to know people has been very challenging. Not being able to see someone below their nose, like their pictures on Infinite Campus versus what they look like with a mask on, has been odd. Mm-hmm. And so it's been hard to get to know people just because you only get to see them twice a week. You have to spend more time trying to build relationships in less time, and so that's been a challenge. When it comes to AP is hard because I feel like I'm cramming content down the kids' throat in 9 weeks, and I'm trying to teach because and it's not Greeley West or District 6's fault, but College Board is saying you got to give the full test and the full class. So trying to teach an 18-week course in about 8 weeks, and you only get to see them twice a week in person and 3 times a week on Zoom, which is just not as good as an in-class experience. So I feel for my freshmen. I still think a good amount of them will have a chance to pass the test, but their level of independence and their desire to read and study on their own is going to be the difference, I think, between passing and not passing. Whereas in the past, I think kids had enough support from us 5 days a week that it could make up for they still had to read and do the work, but it could make up a little bit. And right now it's kind of like, if you're not doing the part on your own, I can't do enough in 2 days that I see you in person to make up for it. Yeah. So it's just a hard, and it's the quarter system just is what it is. We're stuck with it. I understand. I don't want to see it last after this is over.
Not only has online learning affected academic classes, but also classes of the arts. Next, we will talk with Peggy Fremel and the impact on theater.
Overall, how are you feeling this semester as your DP seniors approach testing when they're turning in their theater projects?
Sure. Fortunately, this particular group of seniors are highly motivated, and they really attacked the first exam, the first 9 weeks, and I think they did a really good job of laying the foundation for that particular one. They have 3 external exams that they have to complete, and we're just getting ready now to move on to that first external exam, which is the research investigation. And I feel like everybody is really doing a good job of staying on track. There are some loose ends that we are planning to work on this Saturday, actually.
What has it been like meeting freshmen during this year?
That part has been extremely difficult. I feel very sorry for the freshmen because West is just this incredible place, and they haven't been able to experience that. They haven't been able to feel what it's like to be at the opening day assembly, or to attend those football games, or be a part of Car Caravan, or just to interact, like in theater, for example, to be able to interact with the upperclassmen.
Good morning, West. It's 7:30. We're going to open the doors and let kids in. Students in the comments can start moving to their classrooms. Let's have a great day.
So I feel like the best that we can do, and which one of the things I try to do is I try to talk to them about those things. Or here are some of the things that we didn't get to do this year, but that you have to look forward to in another year. And I think it's important that we just keep reminding them and encouraging them that this isn't normal. We'll get through it, and they'll get to experience what it's really like to be a Spartan.
Finally, we talked with kids about the effects of online learning and how it has affected their education. But also, we asked about their hopes and dreams for the new year.
Your name, and then what is your one goal finishing this semester as a senior? Your goal.
Well, I'm Ashlyn Estel, and my main goal for this semester, beginning an IB senior, is really just to catch up on all my IB work and submit everything before April, really. And yeah.
Talk about one of the best changes that's happened because of COVID?
All right. I am Kiara Bonanno, and one of the best, sorry, I'm out of breath, changes that happened to me due to COVID, I think, was my grades are getting much better because I'm at home, I'm not tired all the time, and that's it.
Anything looking forward to kind of like keep going with you?
I hope I could have this much energy when I'm not, like when COVID is done with everything. I hope I could have like motivation to get better grades.
Awesome. Let's talk about volleyball. What's been like, what you're hoping for?
Okay, ready. Do I start now?
Yeah.
Okay, my name's Janelle. I'm a senior, and volleyball this year starts in March. So after the boys and girls basketball season, and this year we're hoping to get a healthy season, especially with COVID going around. So it's really fun that we honestly get the opportunity to even be in a gym together to play. What else? We were practicing at Brentwood Middle School just so that we can keep distance from other players and just make sure that everyone's safe and everyone's wearing masks, everyone's using hand sanitizer, everyone's disinfecting. So honestly, we're just trying to stay as safe as possible and have a season and have fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, of course.
As we approach the final graduation date or the end of perhaps your junior, sophomore, or freshman year, the best thing to realize and remember is that we're all in this together. Students, reach out to teachers if you need additional support. They're there for you, and they're the biggest advocate you have. And teachers, we know that you're working together, and we appreciate you so much. We couldn't have made it through this year without this amazing staff and administration making sure that we have what we need to be successful during these times. And now another short commercial break with Koo.
What is something people look stupid doing?
Talking about stuff that they're not educated on.
Like, oh wait, no, don't. Wait, I don't know if that's gonna make people mad. But yeah, I get what you mean. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What is the worst sport? What is the worst sport ever?
I don't know. Probably like tennis.
Tennis? Oh no. Tennis? Okay. Thank you.
That's it?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Thanks, Koo. And a quick message from Spartan administration. If you're interested in being a commentator for basketball, see Mr. Hilbig. Well, friends, if you're seeing my face, that means it's the end of the newscast. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and check out our Westward website for weekly stories. And if you want to join our team, reach out to Mr. Falter. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next time.
In this limited time we have together. We'll hear directly from a couple teachers and a couple students this year, today.
Wow, that was really bad. As you saw, many of the teachers here at Greeley West will have a hard time moving their things and memories into the new building as they start a new career chapter in their. With the construction of the new building underway, many teachers are having to think about moving their classrooms into the new building. Many of the teachers who have spent years here have a lot. Oh my gosh.
I don't really want to do this.
Next, I spoke to Ms. Dent and Miss Gregg, who shared some similar thoughts.